What is up, YouTube? I'm Devon DaVinci, leader of the Renaissance Crew, and you're watching DaVinci Reacts. Today I have an interesting video. I've seen a lot of people do reactions to this, and I never sat down and actually watch or react to this particular video. Um, I'm going to speculate on what it's about. So everything I'm about to talk about before the video plays are things that I'm assuming is in the video. So a lot of stuff I say could be very wrong, but I've never been someone that's been like this gung ho, patriotism and Star Spangled Banners. That I've never really been that type of person. Like I'm proud of my country and everything, but like when I see people going around like waving flags around for the sake of waving flags and all this other stuff, it's kind of cringe to me because it comes off as fake reassurance in yourself. Like you're putting a lot of the achievements of millions of people on yourself when you likely haven't done anything. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're like a veteran or someone and you've like fought in wars and everything, then you have every right to flaunt your flag and everything else because you fought for it. But when I see people that haven't bothered to take uh, like a single day in a damn boot camp, but then want to go around waving their flag and talking about like talking down on other cultures or countries or um, trying to accuse other people of not being as American as you are because they don't want to sing a damn song or wave a flag or something. It irritates the hell out of me. But like I said, for all I know, this video isn't a for all this could be a parody for all I know. Like I don't know what to expect. Um, but anyway, it'd be interesting to watch and try to get a good feel for. Now, is this the best way to start a video about the Star Spangled Banner? Probably not. Probably turned off a lot of people. Some people probably clicked off the video as soon as they heard my little talk about patriotism. Some people probably just dismissed me as like anti-patriotic to begin with, but those are the type of people that I really don't care about appealing to. So they're free to leave. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this and see what it has to offer. This is the Star Spangled Banner as you've never heard it. Interesting. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Oh, 1 second. There we go. As long as it's not like the Fergie version or the Carl
There was
Lewis
a lawyer
version.
once. His name was Francis Scott Key. He penned a song that I'm sure you're aware of. You've seen it. It's in most hymnals throughout our churches. It's called the national anthem. It is our song as an American.
The national anthem actually has like multiple verses. The one that we are most familiar with, I believe, is I don't know if it's the first verse or whatever, but um, like the rest of the song, people don't really touch. And it was a song that started off as I believe, a pub song. Matter of fact, most songs in American history that relate to like our country originated as like English pub songs.
We go, however, to a ball game. We stand in our church services and we sing the words of that song, and they float over our minds and our lips, and we don't even realize what we're singing. Most of us have memorized it as a child, but we've never really thought about what it means. Let me tell you a story. Francis Scott Key was a lawyer in Baltimore. The colonies were engaged in vicious conflict with the mother country, Britain. Because of this conflict and the protractedness of it, they had accumulated prisoners on both sides. The American colonies had prisoners and the British had prisoners. And the American government initiated a move. They went to the British and they said, let us negotiate for the release of these prisoners. They said, we want to send a man out to discuss this with you. They were holding the American prisoners in boats about 1,000 yards offshore. And they said, we want to send a man by the name of Francis Scott Key. He will come out and negotiate to see if we can make a mutual exchange. On the appointed day, in a rowboat, he went out to this boat and he negotiated with the British officials. And they reached a conclusion that men could be exchanged on a one-for-one basis. Francis Scott Key, jubilant with the fact that he'd been successful, went down below in the boats, and what he found was a cargo hold full of humanity, men. And he said, men, I've got news for you tonight. You're free. He said, tonight I have negotiated successfully your return to the colonies. He said, you'll be taken out of this boat, out of this filth, out of your chains. As he went back up on board to arrange for their passage to the shore, the admiral came and he said, we have a slight problem. He said, we will still honor our commitment to release these men, but it'll be merely academic after tonight. It won't matter. And Francis Scott Key said, what do you mean? He said, well, Mr. Key, he said, tonight we have laid an ultimatum upon the colonies. Your people will either capitulate and lay down the colors of that flag that you think so much of, or you see that fort right over there, Fort Henry? He said, we're going to remove it from the face of the earth. He said, how are you going to do that? He said, if you will, scan the horizon of the sea. And as he looked, he could see hundreds of little dots. And he said, that's the entire British war fleet.
I'm curious as to how true this is. I don't know if this is just a story or if this is an actual fact. Because I was always under the impression that the creation of the Star Spangled Banner wasn't that dramatic. So I could be wrong. I don't know a lot about the War of 1812 and how big it was for like the English compared to the Revolutionary War. But I was under the impression that the Revolutionary War, we won it because they got tired of fighting over something that they felt wasn't worth it. So the idea that they would come back and then do it again, even bigger, seems kind of off to me. Now, I do know that the War of 1812, from what I understand, was actually a war that started with America attacking first. So the idea that like they would try to come in and just take it seems kind of off. Now, I could be wrong. Let me know in the comment section if I am wrong, but I don't know. I feel like I'm getting some red flags.
He said all of the gunpowder, all of the armament is being called upon to demolish that fort. It will be here within striking distance in a matter of about 2.5 hours. He said the war is over. These men would be free anyway. He said, you can't shell that fort. He said, that's a large fort. He said, it's full of women and children. He says, it's predominantly not a military fort. He said, don't worry about it. They said, we've left them a way out. And he said, what's that? He said, do you see that flag way up on the rampart? He said, we have told them that if they will lower that flag, the shelling will stop immediately. And we'll know that they've surrendered, and you'll now be under British rule. Francis Scott Key went down below and told the men what was about to happen. And they said, how many ships? He said, hundreds. The ships got closer. Francis Scott Key went back up on top and he said, men, I'll shout down to you what's going on as we watch. As twilight began to fall, and as the haze hung over the ocean as it does at sunset, suddenly the British war fleet unleashed. He says the sound was deafening. There were so many guns that there were no reliefs. He said it was absolutely impossible to talk or hear. He said suddenly the sky, although dark, was suddenly lit. And he says from down below, all he could hear the men, the prisoners, saying was, tell us where the flag is. What have they done with the flag? Is the flag still flying over the rampart? Tell us. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into the shelling. Every time the bomb would explode and it would be close to the flag, they could see the flag in the illuminated red glare of that bomb. And Francis Scott Key would report down to the men below, it's still up. It's not down. The admiral.
The women and children down, but the flag's still good.
He said, what's the matter?
I'm sorry.
He said, don't they understand this is an impossible situation? Francis Scott Key said he remembered what George Washington had said. He said the thing that sets the American Christian apart from all other people in the world is he will die on his feet before he'll live on his knees. The Admiral said, we have now instructed all of the guns to focus on the rampart to take that flag down. He said, we don't understand something. Our reconnaissance tells us that that flag has been hit directly again and again and again, and yet it's still flying. We don't understand that.
I want to say a lot of stuff, but I'm trying to keep
But he said, now
the
we're
respect
about to
of the
bring
video
every gun for the next 3 hours to bear on
where
that
it's
point.
at.
Francis Scott Key said the barrage
I don't want
was
to change the
unmerciful.
mood.
All that he could hear was the men down below praying. The prayer. God, keep that flag flying where we last saw it. Sunrise came. He said there was a heavy mist hanging over the land, but the rampart was tall enough. There stood the flag, completely nondescript, in shreds. The flagpole itself was at a crazy angle, but the flag was still at the top. Francis Scott Key went aboard and immediately went into Fort Henry to see what had happened. And what he'd found had happened was that that flagpole and that flag had suffered repetitious direct hits. And when hit had fallen, but men, fathers, who knew what it meant for that flag to be on the ground, although knowing that all of the British guns were trained on it, walked over and held it up humanly until they died. Their bodies were removed and others took their place. Francis Scott Key said what held that flagpole in place at that unusual angle were patriots' bodies. He penned the song, "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Or the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that the flag was still there."
Interesting that they knew the term rockets
Oh,
back then.
say does that
So I'm wondering what
star-spangled
rockets
banner
were at the time.
yet fly,
Because they obviously weren't the same as the things we consider today to be rockets.
or the land of the free and the home of the brave. The debt was demanded. The price, it was paid.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed?
But the people putting their hands on their hearts, I believe that's only for people with uniforms. If you have a hat, you're supposed to take it off.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread clear the bombs
Sound like Bob Dylan.
bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, say does that star
This man said, I'm gonna do an encore. Sounds so nice, I'm gonna sing it twice. I held my tongue with a lot of comments and stuff that was mentioned in this story, but I'm going to say it right now. For those of you that enjoyed this video, the video probably ends right here. I don't want to. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that. So if you enjoyed this video, I look forward to seeing you in a future video. And until then, I'm Devon DaVinci, and I'm signing out. But for those of you that want to hear my comments, the video continues. I'm sorry if maybe it's the skeptic in me or whatever, but I consider like now I could be wrong. If I am wrong, I will openly go to the comment section and I will apologize. If anybody lets me know in the comment section, no, what happened? This is actually what happened. This is exactly the story as to how Francis Scott Key wrote his wrote the Star Spangled Banner, and it's 100% true. Okay, fine. But to me, this comes off as a gigantic piece of like war propaganda. It really does. It sounds like a church sermon that someone is speaking just to rile people up and get that whole patriotic fervor going. I don't think that this is exactly like how it happened at all. Like patriots were the ones holding up the flag and everything. I don't know. Like I don't know. Maybe soldiers, I would believe it, but regulars, no, I don't believe it for a second. No, I don't believe the British military sent all their navy to that one fort and bombed that fort, which if it was like actually a fort with women and children and wasn't mostly a military fort, that means it's not the most strategic uh strategic objective. So why would they focus so much of their attention on it? It doesn't really make sense. Um I think that this video, especially with like the Bible verse at the end, this gives me really strong um like that conservative like that conservative patriotism like all rolled into one. Now I could be 100% wrong. Like I said, if I am, let me know in the comment section down below. I am not above apologizing, let people know that I completely was wrong. I've openly admitted that I do not know the story of the War of 1812 or the exact origins of the Star Spangled Banner. Like I said, all I heard was that it was a song that was an English like tavern song before it became the national anthem. So based on that, I would imagine if it was like when Francis Scott Key did pin it, he didn't do it on a battleship watching as it happened or anything. Likely it was a story that he heard and he wrote a song about it. Again, I'm very skeptical. I don't think this is exactly what happened. I will check out the comment section of this video after this video wraps up just to see if there's anybody that can give me any information as to whether this is 100% true or not. I'm sorry for sounding kind of cynical. That's just I'm sorry. For me, the BS alarms are ringing and they're ringing loud. Now, it could be a false alarm, but that's just what I'm getting. I'm just letting you guys know this ahead of time because I'm not going to sit here and sit on my thumbs and pretend like they're not ringing. Something within me is telling me that this is not how it went down. Now, like I said, I'm going to go and research. I'm not going to just say this isn't how it happened and just start believing that from now on because I don't know. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to find out what the actual origin is, and I'll learn something. But if you already know the answer, feel free to go in the comment section down below for the people that may be in a situation where I'm in, but don't want to bother to do the research to prevent them from possibly believing misinformation. Give them the right stuff. And if you have a source, that'd be even better, with a link or something that you can send people towards so they can research it even further. But as of right now, that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my commentary. Like I said, it was honest. Absolutely letting you know how I felt about it. But it's not a bad video. It's just that I've seen a lot of propaganda stuff designed to give people that American patriotic feeling. And a lot of times when I do run into stuff like that, it's for stuff that like it's like a distraction. Like they build up the patriotism over here so something else can happen over here. So you're focused on this part and getting riled up and yeah, America, and then the whole time what the real purpose is over here. It happened a lot during the after 9/11 with the wars, and then people that didn't support the war, they tried to make it seem like they were unpatriotic, and they tried to change like products and stuff, freedom fries and freedom toast and all this other stuff, and it's like, no, we just kind of skeptical about the purposes behind this war. Like, oh, that's because you're not American. I've heard like usually the accusation of unpatriotic or un-American always is hiding some type of ulterior motive. But like I said, I will research more into it. So I'm Devon DaVinci. Hopefully you're enlightened. If you are, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button because it definitely helps my channel out. It allows my videos to get more recommended, and it allows the channel to be more algorithm friendly, which means more people can be involved, which means more people can be in the comment section, which could possibly mean more people are telling me that I'm a fucking idiot for spewing bullshit. But whatever, that is a benefit. I look forward to seeing people correct me. That's the only way you properly learn. Anyway, I'm giving you the deuces, and I'm signing out. So, peace.